My name is Daniel, and what I'm about to share is an experience I never thought I would have. I was just an ordinary person, going through each day without worrying too much about life after death. Then, on a normal afternoon, everything changed. I had a near-death experience that shattered my old views. My heart stopped beating, but I did not disappear. I crossed into a place so real, so powerful that I can still sense its energy deep inside me. And what Jesus showed me about the M-mark shape on our hands is something I feel everyone needs to hear. It began like any other day. I woke up, did my morning routine, and expected nothing unusual. I ate lunch and sat down at my computer desk, and suddenly, I felt extremely dizzy. My vision blurred, and a sharp pain shot through my chest. I remember my heart pounding, and within seconds, darkness swallowed me up. I could hear people calling my name. Their voices sounded far away, as if I were underwater. Someone was shouting for help, and I felt myself drifting away from my body. Everything became cold, and time seemed to slow down. The world faded into silence. Right then, I realized I had died. Strangely, I didn't feel scared. Instead, I experienced a calm that went beyond anything I had known before. There was no pain or worry, only a peaceful presence. I was surrounded by darkness. But then, in the distance, a soft light appeared. It felt warm and inviting, not harsh on my eyes at all. I didn't walk or float. I simply moved closer to the light, pulled by a gentle force I couldn't resist. As soon as I reached that light, the darkness behind me vanished. It was like I was standing in a new place, one that felt alive in a way I can't fully describe. The air itself seemed to hum with energy. I noticed I wasn't wearing my usual clothes, and my body felt weightless, free from all discomfort or stress. My thoughts were clear, and peace surrounded me completely. Then I saw shapes in the distance, beings outlined by a gentle glow. They weren't exactly human, but somehow they felt familiar. Their presence radiated kindness and understanding, and I sensed no judgment from them. As I looked around, the light grew stronger, almost as if it were responding to me. Then a voice called my name from deep inside my soul. Daniel. A figure stood before me, shining with the brightest light I have ever seen. His eyes held a power and wisdom that almost overwhelmed me. Instantly, I knew he was Jesus. I dropped to my knees, overcome by the pure love he radiated. Although he said nothing aloud at first, I realized that my entire life was about to unfold before my eyes in a way I had never imagined. Suddenly, my surroundings shifted. Behind Jesus, a tunnel of swirling light appeared, filled with gold, blue, and colors I had never seen before. It seemed alive, moving like it had its own heartbeat. Jesus gestured for me to enter. The moment I did, the place I'd been standing in faded away. I traveled through that tunnel without walking. The light carried me, and time lost meaning. As I moved forward, scenes from my life played like short films. I saw major events, quiet moments, and even my hidden thoughts. Every action, every word, and every choice felt important. Some memories filled me with warmth, while others made me feel sorrow for the pain I had caused, even without knowing it. This was not a punishment. It was a deeper understanding of how every person's behavior can spread outward. Love and kindness create positive effects, while careless actions can bring hurt. I realized that even small things we do or say can echo throughout our lives in ways we might never see. When I stepped out of the tunnel, I found myself in a vast space glowing with golden light. The air felt alive, humming with a soft melody that seemed to come from everywhere at once. That was when I saw angels. They were not human, but they radiated a sense of love and wisdom that felt familiar. One angel came closer to me, raising a shining hand. Then, a flowing river of light appeared before us, stretching on, weaving through what felt like time itself. I sensed it was the link connecting all souls. The angel told me, without speaking out loud, everything you do matters. Even the smallest act of love creates ripples through eternity. I stood there, both amazed and humbled. Before I could ask more, I felt another presence, stronger and even more loving. Jesus was there, watching me. I had a feeling that he was about to show me something life-changing. Standing so near to Jesus felt like being in the center of absolute love. His eyes saw every part of me, my flaws, my worries, my regrets, and yet I felt no judgment, only understanding and care. He walked closer to me, and though his lips did not move, I heard him in my heart. "Daniel, you have been brought here to learn." Then, behind him, shapes and symbols formed in golden light, and I couldn't read them, but they pulsed with spiritual power. Jesus took my hand gently, and a warm surge flowed through me. It felt like every part of me recognized his touch. When I looked down at my palm, I saw the faint M mark that I had never paid much attention to, now shining with a radiant glow. Until that moment, the M shape on my hand was just a small line I had never thought about. Now, it glowed in Jesus' presence. In a flood of visions, I saw many people through the ages, prophets, healers, everyday folks, each with that same M mark on their palms. Jesus told me, "This mark is not a random crease. It is a sign for those who bring light to others. It does not mean power or pride, but it stands for caring, guiding, and healing." And suddenly, my heart pounded. How many chances to show love had I missed in my life? How many times had I brushed aside someone in need? Seeing this M mark in a new light made me understand it was a reminder of a greater calling. All at once, a huge screen of light appeared before us. My entire life, from childhood to my last moment, played out again. I saw each word, each choice, and felt their effects. I saw small acts of kindness I had forgotten, yet they had spread hope in surprising ways. I also saw times I had been careless, hurting others without realizing it. One scene showed a person in need whom I had ignored. I felt their loneliness and sadness deeply, and it made me understand that every action, no matter how small, leaves a mark on someone's life. Jesus stood nearby, calm and comforting. "This is not to shame you," he communicated gently. "It's to help you see how your life matters." Tears pricked my eyes, because I finally understood the real weight of each decision I made, big or small. When that review ended, I asked Jesus, "Why do we do bad things if we're all so connected? Why do we choose to hurt one another?" He answered with kindness that filled my entire being. "Because you have free will," he said. "Love cannot be forced. It is only true when it is chosen." That answer opened my eyes. If we were forced to be kind, it wouldn't mean anything. The moments we fail or the pain we cause are part of learning. Jesus showed me many people from all over the world, some fighting anger, some searching for hope, all learning through their own free will. "The choices you make shape who you become," he added. Suddenly, it was clear to me that every day of our lives is filled with opportunities to choose love. We don't have to be perfect. We just need to be willing. With another motion, Jesus led me into a realm that glowed with pure warmth and peace. I understood it to be heaven. The sky seemed endless and shone with colors beyond what I'd known on earth. The very air sang with a gentle harmony, as if all of creation was alive with joy. Loved ones who had passed before me appeared in this place. They looked healthier and happier than ever. I hugged my grandfather, who beamed with pure happiness. All my sorrow over losing him vanished in that embrace. "Is this forever?" I asked Jesus. He nodded gently. "Yes, for those who choose love, this is home." I could have stayed there, wrapped in that glow, but I felt a gentle push inside, reminding me my journey wasn't done. Jesus seemed to confirm this with a kind look that said, "You must go back." Suddenly, I glimpsed faces of people who were struggling, people I hadn't met yet. They needed hope, needed to know they weren't alone. I sensed my story could help them. I felt a twist of doubt. "I'm far from perfect," I whispered. "I've made mistakes." Jesus' expression was so loving. It chased all doubts away. "It never required perfection," he said. "Only a heart willing to share." I nodded in agreement, realizing I had to return. At once, the bright landscape of heaven faded, and I felt a jolt, like being pulled rapidly back into my body. I opened my eyes to the harsh lights of a hospital room. Doctors and nurses hovered around me, amazed that I was breathing again. Waking up felt like crossing into a foreign land. The beeping machines, the sterile smell, all of it seemed so different from the beauty I had just seen. But I knew in my soul that what had happened was real. I glanced down at my hand. There was the faint M mark looking as normal as ever, except now I recognized what it truly represented. I silently thanked God for giving me a second chance, for letting me return with a mission. My family was relieved, hugging me, tears in their eyes. They had watched my heart stop, and yet here I was alive. People soon started asking me, "Daniel, do you remember anything?" I felt nervous about sharing at first, wondering who would believe. But I remembered the promise I made to Jesus to spread what I had learned, so I spoke up, describing the tunnel of light, the angels, and meeting Jesus himself. I shared how I felt when my entire life replayed in front of me. I also told them about the M mark on my palm. Listeners became very curious. Many raised their own hands and stared at the same M-shaped crease. Some had tears, realizing it might be a symbol of purpose. I saw hope spark in their faces, like something inside them was waking up. Not long after, messages poured in from people around the world. They told me they too had this M mark but never gave it any thought. Some had their own near-death experiences, describing the same warm light and love. Others said they felt drawn to do more good in the world, as if something inside them was calling them to act. In time, I understood that this M mark is not magical, but a gentle sign that many of us are meant to bring love, kindness, and healing. Some who heard my story decided to volunteer in their communities, make peace with old enemies, or simply become kinder in daily life. Each small action seemed to multiply, creating more and more good. I used to feel my life lacked meaning, but now I see I was saved for a reason. Jesus let me see the truth so I could share it. The message is simple. Our lives matter, and each of us has a role in spreading love. It's been years since my heart stopped that day. Not a single day passes without me remembering what I saw. Heaven's light, Jesus' voice, and the life review forever changed my perspective. I realize we are all linked by invisible threads of love and responsibility. When people ask, "Daniel, why you?" I'm honest, I don't fully know. But I do know God wants each of us to recognize we are loved and that we can pass that love to others. The M mark on my hand isn't special magic, yet it reminds me of God's invitation to be a light in a world that can sometimes feel dark. So here's the invitation I leave with you. If you're hearing or reading this, it's no accident. Look at your hands. You might see that same M mark on your hands. Maybe you've never noticed it before, or maybe you've always felt it had some hidden meaning. Either way, let it remind you that you are here for a reason. We all have the power to choose love, kindness, and compassion every single day. One day, each of us will cross over and see the true impact of our choices. Until that time, we walk by faith, trusting in a God who never leaves our side. We don't need to be perfect. We only need to be willing. Remember that you are never alone. Jesus stands ready to guide you. The M mark on your hand, if you have it, can be that daily symbol that you are part of God's plan. So step forward, choose love over fear, and let your life shine like a beacon. Because each act of kindness, each moment of care, can spread farther than you ever imagined. And if you ever doubt, remember, God's love is real. Heaven is real, and you are here for a divine purpose.